Okay, so both of these people are ready to go ahead and cut the lids off or do some fine tuning to make sure that they're ready to cut them off. You can see that there's some like drier pieces and like some crumbly pieces that are stuck in here. If you get this wet right now, then you're probably gonna stick those in there. And so I would say if you can just take your hand and brush as much of this off as you can before, that would be a good thing. If you had a dry paintbrush, that would work as well, like to dust inside of these to get those out, okay? It looks really good, it's carved well, but the surface of it is still like that erased like grid line that you can see. And so I would take like a larger sponge and sponge this off. Okay, and this freaks some people out because you lose a little bit of that crisp, like of the like texture of the lines, but look how much better the surface of this looks. Okay, and this is a lot faster than going in and like individually smoothing some of those things. And now you do have to go back through and like just kind of lift some of that stuff back out. But it's really not gonna take that much time. And you can see the difference between like this and what this other side looks like, okay? Look how like clean that is with just minimal amount of work. It's a lot easier to carve in a line that you've already carved in. So you're just kind of scooping those little pieces out or knocking them out. So that looks, I mean, really nice. Okay, so you can see that was minimal, right? Because they carved so well before. And then I would just turn to the other side. I would make sure that you're not sitting it down in like all this crumbly stuff, that you're brushing that off before you rotate and sit it back in all of that like dust, okay? So now we're gonna talk about cutting the lid off. We are going to take our pencil and draw where we want this to be. We want to draw as much inside the line as possible, okay? Like inside the lines that you have carved. And so you don't have to have the base carved, okay? So you can see that these, the bottom of them are blank. And then we're just gonna think about, okay, what can I connect all the way through? My suggestion is that you are cutting somewhere in the top box. So this is one set of boxes, and this one, it would be somewhere up here, okay, in that set of boxes. It doesn't make very much sense, okay, I'm gonna need everybody's eyes up. Okay, it doesn't make much sense to me to cut through the middle of it and have my lid and my container be exactly the same, right? And so I'm gonna go ahead and think about that. I can do curved lines. There are lines that you can't do though. You cannot just cut it straight. If we cut it straight, it's gonna warp, okay? If we cut it like a castle, okay, these are going to stick as they drag and drag past each other. These would be better if they were angled like this, okay, if you wanted something to still be flat. Okay, and then we can't do like a back cut, okay, because this piece of clay is gonna be in the way of this piece of clay lifting off. Okay, so there are a few things that we don't wanna do. We're going to just take our pencil and draw little dashed lines. So let's think about this. We might have to jump over some of it, but we could possibly like go like right here and curve around this part and curve back up. Okay, and so the reason that you want to do this where you want to make, and you see those dashed, they're a little hard to see in these creases. make a dashed line. So then you know for sure as you go all the way around that you're going to meet back up where this other one started, right? You don't want to be down here and then have this other part be up at the top, right? That would be kind of awkward to figure out how to connect those pieces. So we're going to go ahead and think about that. That's how I would do this one. With this one here, we could just go across like all of these. You might be able to see this a little better. And just put a dash line just through it. So then as your brain is helping you, right, cut this off, and you're thinking about it, you don't all of a sudden go down and cut underneath. Instead, you figure out that where you're going and you continue that all the way around. Okay, so I would make that dashed line all the way through it. This has to be soft for this piece to go through. Okay, so if it's not cutting through, there's nothing I can do either. I would have to do the exact same thing that you would do, is spray this so then I can cut into the places that I need to cut. Okay, I'm not going to cut these because they aren't mine. Do I have questions? Does this make sense? Okay, so next steps would be sponging and like carving little tiny pieces, and then the next thing would be drawing your dash line. If you want me to look at your dash line, I can, to make sure it works. And you can even go back and erase that dash line. If you don't like it, you can run a tool back through it and smooth it out so then you don't see it.